The metal clattered across the console table by the door. Coat halfway off, heel deliberately loud on the wood. She froze a second, like she'd just realized people sleep at night. Hey, she yawned, all casual. Coffee with Sophie. You can call her if you don't believe me. I pushed myself up on an elbow. Coffee for 4 hours. Tom got away. Want me to put her on speaker? I can text you her number. The little grin didn't match the apology. You're home, I said, steady. That's enough for tonight. She smirked like I blinked first in some game I didn't agree to play. Bathroom light on. Cabinets. More noise than brushing teeth requires. It was an accident. It was a stage cue. If I'd known where it was headed, I'd have written it down that minute like a work order. Symptoms, estimate, deadline. I didn't yell. I watched the pattern set. In the morning, she moved around the kitchen like a tenant paying by the hour. No eye contact, phone in hand, plenty of size. I poured coffee, slid a mug toward her. Here's how we do this going forward, I told her. After 10, shoot a short text. If you're late, I'm not guessing. It's not control. It's clarity. That's cute, she snorted. Clarity. You mean rules. Clarity, I repeated. One sentence. Running late. Be back by X. She leaned against the counter. I'm not asking permission to live. Good news. I'm not a permission guy. Her eyes narrowed. You don't trust me? I trust what people show me. Last night showed me noise where there should have been quiet and theater where there should have been honesty. The message fixes it. So now I have to check in. After 10, I said, you want to be unpredictable? Fine. I keep my mornings productive. She flicked her hair and laughed into her phone like there was a hidden audience. You want Sophie's number or no? No. I left it there and headed to the shop. The bay door stuck again halfway. The chain squealed, and Luis, my senior tech, hands always black under the nails, dry humor that saves lives, nudged it up with his shoulder. You look like someone parked in your spot, he said. House stuff. House stuff doesn't make a radiator leak. What do you need? Facts, I told him. No drama. Facts. I called a guy I keep for jobs where emotions are expensive. Cal Reed. He's not a ghost, not a hero, just a man with a camera and no appetite for stories. What's the scope? Cal asked in his gravel. Schedule, patterns. Daylight first. I don't want fireworks. I want timestamps. Got it, he said. You'll get what there is. When I hung up, I also moved our discretionary card into 2 cards. Non-negotiables stayed on a shared account. Mortgage, utilities, groceries. The other, coffee runs, boutique candles, last-minute tickets, became separate. I called the bank, closed 1 line, opened 2. Simple. Luis watched. You tightening the belt? I'm removing friction, I answered. Not punishment. He grunted approval. Make the system idiot-proof. We can't rebuild a wreck every week. At lunch, a text from Megan. Don't wait dinner. I'm out with Julia. After 10 message, I replied. We're aligned. She shot back a thumbs-up emoji like a dare. Neighbors were throwing a barbecue that Saturday. Back deck, plastic cups, the kind of event where everyone performs being easy. Megan loves those. She shines under soft lights and small gossip. She'd be on stage. I could already hear the punchline forming. Fine. If there's a line to draw it where the floor's crowded. The backyard smelled like lighter fluid and burgers. Music low, kids running around the trampoline. I shook hands with Mark, our host, and his wife Dana handed me a beer without asking. Megan drifted to the center of a group, voice a little too bright. So Jack's on a schedule now, she announced to the ladies like it was cute. If I'm not home by 10:30, he wants a text. Can you believe it? He's mad I'm popular. Heads turned. Laughs came easy, the polite kind. I set my cup down. Quick note for the room, I said. People quieted because I don't usually ask for a mic. If anyone asks where Megan is after 10, I don't know. There aren't registrations of her whereabouts at our address. If she texts, great. If not, I sleep. The conversation stalled like a car in second. A couple guys looked at their shoes. Dana did that hostess smile that prays no one breaks the furniture. Megan blinked. Wow. Dramatic. Clear, I corrected. And the jury gasps, she buttered sarcastically. Then louder to the nearest circle. Anyway, my friend just got this insane apartment. Views, open kitchen, the upgrades? You wouldn't believe. Like living in a magazine. Where? Someone asked, grateful for a topic change. Riverfront. she said, and went into details about finishes, built-ins, the kind of talk that sounds like aspiration with someone else's wallet. I sipped my beer and let the chill sit behind my teeth. 10 minutes later, she laughed big at something a guy said behind me. The evening went on. I shook hands, talked shop, swapped grill tips with Mark, kept it dry. The garage is my church. After the party, I rolled the tool cart back into line, checked the bay floor for anything that could make a client slip. Megan slinked in, softer than her entrance last night. About the joke, she started. I shouldn't have said it like that. I'll text. It's not a fight. She held up a brown bag. I made you lunch for tomorrow. Turkey, the way you like, and I wrote a note. Before you ask, yes, I know it's corny. Take the win. The note was a dumb smiley face with sorry I was a brat. I nodded. Thanks. You're not mad? She pressed. I'm marking behavior, I said. You fix it, the mark fades. She rolled her eyes, but leaned up for a kiss like we did this dance 100 times. I gave it to her, minimal investment. She left the garage humming. That was the first soft landing. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still here, please hit the like button. It really helps YouTube recommend this story to more people. Thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the story. Monday, Cal started sending me things. He's not creative with captions. Time, location, photo. Megan outside a cafe, laughing with a tall guy in a blue jacket. Lunch. Later. The same guy handing her a towel at a gym, their membership scanned within a minute. Later still, a storefront travel agency on Jefferson Street. Yes, those still exist, where she picked up a paper bag with brochures showing a tower everyone knows. The guy stood just over her shoulder, easy, familiar. The timestamps were the part that mattered. Patterns, not one-offs. That night, close to midnight, my phone buzzed. Cat emergency at Sophie's, Megan wrote. Don't wait up. Send me a photo from the vet clinic, I replied. A beat. Are you serious? You've turned into a hall monitor. Proof of life, I sent. Of the cat. You don't trust me. I'd trust evidence. It's clean. It's easy. You're being. She stopped herself. You want me to stop helping my friends. I want a picture of the waiting room. Silence. Then, you're exhausting. And nothing more. No image. No check-in. I put the phone face down and slept 8 hours like a grown man. By noon the next day, Cal delivered the kill switch. Same man. Both at the terminal at JFK, hand in hand like they'd paid for early boarding. A close crop of their hands, a clearer shot of the departure board, then a picture of her holding a passport at the gate. Another still of a paper with the big tower on it peeking from her tote. Cal's note, boarding now. Destination matches brochure. At that moment, my phone buzzed with a text from her. We got a crazy deal, girls trip, Paris for a week. Don't wait. I typed without heat. Enjoy. Divorce papers will be waiting. 3 dots pulsed, then died. Nothing else. I didn't throw anything. I didn't make calls I'd regret. I walked into my office at the shop, closed the door, and handled the list like a foreman. The shared extras card? Canceled. I left a balance on the household account for utilities and groceries. Enough to cover a month clean. Emergency savings? Split. I opened a separate account in my name and moved my portion. No games. I called the alarm company and changed the codes. I packed her things. Not the petty way, no rummaging, no cutting sleeves. I folded clothes, boxed shoes, cords, cosmetics. I left bathroom essentials here because I'm not cruel. I'm thorough. Then I called Victor and Paula, her parents. Victor is old school, Midwest steady. Paula's the kind of woman who makes a silent room more comfortable just by fussing with a coaster. They know me. They've seen me covered in grease with a smile and on time to dinner with dessert. They're not naive. Can you both be at the house at 6? I asked. I need to show you something. It affects Megan. Victor didn't ask for details. We'll be there. When they arrived, I had the photos in a neat pile, not sensational, just sequence. I walked them through it. The late return, the joke, the boundary, the lunch apology, the series from Cal, the airport, the text. Their living room voices turned into library voices. Paula's hand twisted a napkin. Oh, Megan. Victor studied the images like schematics. That the Jefferson Street place? Yeah. He sighed through his nose. We raised her to enjoy nice things, not to play games with people. I'm not here for a trial, I said. I'm here so you know why I'm delivering her belongings to your spare room. They're in the truck. Victor nodded once. Back it up to the garage. We did the loading in 15 minutes flat. Boxes in, closet rod and laundry room emptied. Paula placing things, not saying much. It felt like cleaning a bay that a careless owner had tracked mud through. I thanked them. Victor put a hand on my shoulder. You're doing this clean. I respect that. Tomorrow I'll meet her at my place, I told him. I'd like you both there. We'll be there, he said. The week passed with a kind of mechanical peace. Work didn't care about my house. Cars still needed brakes. A fleet manager still wanted a volume discount. Luis still gave me grief about going soft on a worn-out pulley. Since I wasn't covering dinners and shows anymore, the shop's books felt lighter. I slept. I ate when hungry. It was boring in the best way. Megan landed on a Friday. She texted at noon. Home at 5. Pick me up. No, I answered. Meeting at the house at 6. Your parents will be there. Are you serious right now? Yes. At 6, we were all in my kitchen. Me at the head of the table, Megan across, Victor and Paula side by side, hands folded. I set a manila folder on the table. Inside, divorce papers, a list of items I wasn't touching, her car title, her jewelry inventory with photos, a note about the remaining household balance for utilities and groceries, and a simple line about the codes. Changed. Future access only with Victor present. Megan glanced around like she'd walked onto the wrong stage. Wow, you hired someone to watch me. I hired someone to document, I said. I prefer facts to theater. That's invasive and creepy. What you call it doesn't change what it shows. She laughed once, sharp. So you saw me pick up brochures at a travel shop and decided to cancel my life? I saw a sequence. I saw you ask me to text Sophie's sick cat while you were at the terminal the next day, hand in hand with someone, and then announce a girl's deal to Paris. I answered accordingly. You're overreacting. Victor cut in, voice steady, not loud. It's not an overreaction when there are plane tickets. She turned to him. Dad, he didn't bite. Megan. She pivoted to me, softened everything, shoulders, voice, eyes. That warm glow she uses when she wants to be the weather. Jack, listen. We can reset. You want clarity? Fine. I'll share locations. I'll send receipts. We'll do a mutual transparency thing. Clean slate. No more late nights without a text. She touched the folder like it might evaporate. Let's not throw away everything. You don't trade honesty for paperwork, I told her. You traded it for upgrades. The price is the marriage. Paula whispered. Megan, sweetheart. The way mothers do when the train already left. Who is that guy to you? Victor asked, like he was asking about a leak in the roof. No drama, just the job. Someone I know from yoga, she said too fast. Then, it's none of your business, Dad. Everything's our business when we're moving your boxes into our house, he answered, still calm. I pushed the folder forward. These are clean terms. I'm not taking more than what's mine. The car stays with you. I'll maintain the mortgage alone starting now. The house is my responsibility. Your access tomorrow is with your father present. Tonight, you're not staying here. She stared. You're kicking me out of my home? You exited it when you swapped respect for a postcard, I said. This is housekeeping. You love housekeeping, she sneered, then stopped herself, eyes flicking to her mother. Can we talk alone? No, I told her. We're done with private edits. She tried authority. You don't get to do this without my input. I just did. Your input will be in ink. Silence held a second, firm. She went outside and made a call on the porch, voice raised. Words I couldn't hear and didn't need to. Victor sat with his hands folded like a granite statue. Paula watched me with sad eyes that weren't pleading, just acknowledging. Megan came back in. I'll get some clothes now. Tomorrow, I said, keeping it practical. With your dad. I'll open the door. We'll get it done. You changed the codes, she spit. Yes. You're impossible. I'm consistent. She grabbed the folder like it offended her and shoved it back toward me. I'm not signing anything tonight. Nobody asked you to. She collected her purse. Paula stood up with her. Victor didn't move. We'll see you tomorrow, Jack, he said. 6, I answered. The door closed behind them. I cleaned up the 2 cups left on the table. Didn't feel triumphant. Didn't feel empty. It felt like tightening a bolt and hearing it seat right. Next morning at 6 sharp, Victor's truck pulled into the driveway. Megan stood beside him in sunglasses she didn't need, arms crossed hard like it would matter. I met them at the door and handed Victor the temporary code. It expires at noon. Understood, he said. She tried one more time, voice low, like she thought tone could rewrite the log. Jack, I talked to Julia. I'll send you call records. I'll forward boarding passes. We can balance this. You're offering bureaucracy for respect, I told her. I deal in work done and work undone. This is done. You'll regret this, she muttered. I've regretted way worse purchases than a clean exit, I said, and stepped aside. Please like this video. I really need your support right now. It's the only way this story can reach more people. Thank you so much for being here with me and for your support. We walked through the house like we were touring an apartment we weren't renting. She gathered a suitcase of clothes, a jewelry box I'd set aside. No scene, no tears, just friction. Victor took the heavier boxes, the ones I'd packed. On their way out, Victor paused. You're handling this like a man, he said. If you need anything you think I can provide, call me. I appreciate the offer, I told him. Take care of Paula. When they drove away, I stood on the porch long enough to feel the quiet again. Then I went to the shop. Luis looked at my face and didn't ask. He just lifted a crate of filters and said, You want to add Saturdays to the schedule? We keep losing easy money to that chain place by the plaza. We add Saturdays, I agreed. Shorter hours. Appointments only. I'll be here. Also, I'm restructuring our service packages. Clearer tiers, no gray areas. He grinned. Clarity. Exactly. By noon, I'd updated the website and posted new hours on the door. I called our insurance agent and moved my policy into my name only. The phone plan, same. I closed the joint streaming accounts because I don't watch enough TV to justify noise. Not as punishment, as order. I changed the beneficiary on the shop's Keyman insurance from spouse to estate. I told the guys, no more personal packages at the shop under my name. We keep our lanes clean. Dana from next door stopped by with banana bread like I'd taken a neighborhood hit. You okay? She asked carefully. I'm not hurt, I said. I'm reorganized. You want us to not invite her to stuff? She offered, eyes kind. You don't have to manage my guest list, I replied. I'm fine with oxygen. She nodded, got it, and didn't push. Kel texted me one line. You good? Job finished, I replied. Over the next week, paperwork moved. Paula called twice. Kind, measured updates, not fishing. She's staying here, she said once. She says she's figuring things out. Good, I answered. So am I. On my side, progress felt like a string of small levers. The laundry no longer had the never-dry athletic sets. The fridge had food I bought for taste, not staging. The garage felt bigger, not because anything changed, but because nothing was in the wrong place. I gave the guys a raise. It wasn't tied to the house, but it didn't hurt that my columns were clean. 2 weeks later, Victor and Megan came by with a man from a mediation office. Not a courtroom. No speeches. We sat at the table again. I handed over my signed pages. They handed me hers. Everything was as we'd agreed. She read one paragraph twice. You're leaving me the car? She asked, suspicious. You need to move around, I said. I don't want your movement attached to me. She bit her lip like she wanted to find a flaw and couldn't. So that's it. That's it. She waited for me to blink, to offer coffee, to ask a memory question. I didn't. I slid the copies into a folder. When they left, I changed the code again. Not out of fear, because that's what you do when tenants change. The weeks after, I noticed what went quiet. No, where are you pings, no background sarcasm about money and schedules, no need to stand in my own kitchen and justify gravity. Work got busier. Word of mouth doubled. The Saturday tier took off with serious clients who respect a booking. I bought a used truck I'd wanted for years. Not flash, just reliable. I set aside a chunk of cash for new lifts and hired a part-time high school kid to clean the bays. The sort of job that teaches the world isn't about you. One Thursday, a woman named Rachel came in with a rattling Mazda and a little boy holding a dinosaur. She watched me talk through the estimate like it mattered. She paid her bill without sighing at the time. When she left, she said, "You're straightforward." Thank you. I didn't read past that. If she shows back up with more than a rattle, we'll see. I'm not shopping. I'm living. Every so often, someone brings up Megan. Dana said she'd heard Megan was staying with her folks for a bit and figuring out next steps. I said, I wish her clean days, and meant it. I heard the tall guy doesn't do small suburbs well. Not my data to track. My house is my data. One afternoon, Victor stopped by alone with a bag of bolt cutters he borrowed months ago. We stood in the garage, looking at the lifts like an art exhibit. How's Paula? I asked. Worried by hobby, he answered. But okay. And Megan? He set the cutters down. She's learning that comfort without discipline is expensive. She'll land. That's her job, not yours. I agree. He adjusted nothing else and left. That was as close to an apology on her behalf as he'll ever get, and I didn't need it. I'm not dramatic about the past. It happened. I drew a line, not a mural. The last time Megan and I exchanged messages, she sent a photo of a utility bill and asked how we should split it for the transition month. I replied with the portion I'd already covered and a simple number for the rest. She said, thanks. No fireworks. We both acknowledged what was left and crossed it off. People romanticize exits. They want a grand speech and a blown door. I'm more boring. I clear my bench, I catalog, I install new parts, I torque to spec. That's respect for the machine and the man working on it. The night after the papers became permanent, I grilled a steak on the little Weber that's been under a tarp long enough. Luis came by with a six-pack and no questions. We ate at the workbench. He broke the silence with something like a toast. To clarity, he said. To clarity, I answered, and meant the whole thing. I didn't burn anything. I didn't chase anyone. I didn't bargain. You can't talk someone into valuing you. You can only remove the discount. I keep the lunches she used to pack out of the house. I make my own. Turkey, mustard, no note. The only message I need now is my own calendar. Down the road, when people ask what happened, I tell them the truth without ornament. She came home at 2, loud like a performance. I asked for a 10 o'clock text. She called it control. I called it clarity. I hired a man who prefers facts. The facts lined up like a checklist. I acted once. I acted clean. If there's any lesson worth handing to a younger guy in my shop, it's this. You don't argue somebody out of contempt. You reorganize and leave the door unlocked behind you only so you can change the code. When they ask where Megan is after 10, I don't answer. That's not my ledger anymore. Life now? Better than quiet. Solid. The shop hums. The truck starts every time. There's a spare key for someone who earns it. Rachel has been back twice with the Mazda and once with a different car that needed less than she feared. We talk about school pickups and timing belts. There's interest, not lighting, and I'll take that any day. The house is exactly what it looks like. My space, my order. Clean counters. Tools on the wall. A calendar with jobs that translate straight into invoices. Victor's number stays in my phone, not because I need backup, but because good men stay good men even when the titles change. And Megan? From what filters back, she spends fewer nights out loudly returning and more nights quietly reconsidering the price tag on her upgrades. That's between her and her reflection. She can keep whatever tower she collected in her brochures. I kept what I needed, my name on my door, my line, my clarity. In the end, I didn't win anything flashy. I kept my dignity and my rhythm. I drew a boundary and enforced it without flinching. When I closed that folder on my table and walked them out, I said the last words I needed to say to her in this life. You traded honesty for upgrades. The price is the marriage. That line did all the lifting. Everything after has been routine maintenance. I sleep. I work. I open the shop early on Saturdays now, appointments only. I lock up, drive home, and don't check my phone for permission to breathe. If someone announces a new apartment with views and built-ins at a backyard party, I'll taste my beer and let it be about them.